Hi, I'm Tom Carr, and this is the Property Web. Now, if you're on a property journey, or you're ready to start one, you've probably asked yourself, this is a bit difficult, how can I actually get help? As a mortgage broker, I'm tempted to say me, but I also want to help you go further. So this podcast is here to introduce you to other experts, people who can support and provide guidance and help get you forward. My goal is really to help you make an informed decision about who you want to work with and get that property dream on track. So today's guest is a perfect example. She's someone who brings a perspective and a unique skill set to the buying process. I'm pleased to introduce a fellow traveller from overseas, Janet Chang. She's a buyer's agent here in Sydney, and she specialises in helping investors find the next property. So, Janet, welcome.
Hi,
Thank you.
very glad to be here. Thank you, Tom, for the introduction.
No problem. All right. Why don't we start, like everyone always does, just getting to know you a little bit better, because I really want people to sort of get a sense for who you are and how you can help them. So why don't we take the international angle? Because you are also from overseas, like me. Tell us where you're from, why Australia? What made you come over?
Okay. Yeah, so I grew up in Taiwan, in Taipei. So I basically grew up here for my whole life. And then when I was 36 years old, I think Microsoft provided me an opportunity to move to Sydney for a job opportunity. So that's why we are here now. Yeah.
Awesome. So you've come over with the family.
Yeah, I think at the time, my daughter is still like 3 years old. Then now she's already 11 years old. And then we have our son, also born here and grew up here now. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've got a family as well, so I kind of know where you're coming from there. I think Sydney is it's probably one of the best places to bring up a family. It's just got
So
the outdoor
true.
lifestyle. Yeah, we all love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, what were some of those sort of big surprises when you came over? For me, it was going into the city at like 10 o'clock and everything's shut. Coming from London, it's a bit crazy. But
I think for me, in the few years, right, what I really try is to really survive in this environment. So you can imagine we all grew up, me and my husband all grew up in Taipei. We speak Mandarin, so we have to use our second language and really to try to survive in the corporate world. And then the thing is, I grew up in Taipei, always go to the best school, in that country, but no one's know anything about me here. So I have to build up everything from scratch. So I wasn't really, trying to explore or really try to blend in the culture here. I just trying to survive and build something for my kids for the longer term.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that makes sense. And so you've had that corporate journey. So why don't you maybe touch on that, because you've got an interesting tech world that you come from, and obviously we'll get into your business now. But what was your corporate trajectory? What did you do?
Yeah, I think when I still remember when I was a student, right? I seen people walking out from the office tower in Taipei and looking really successful. I was like, this is what I want to be. And I get into corporate. I work in Microsoft, work in IBM for 17 years. I always thought climbing up the corporate ladder is what I want to be. And I think there is a wake-up moment that I think there's one day we are celebrate a senior leader, 25 years old working, 25 years anniversary in Microsoft. And then he proudly shared that in 25 years, he never took a day off, only a half day when his mom passed away.
Wow.
And then he shared this to show how dedicated he is, in Microsoft life. But then for me, I was like, this is not the life I want, right? I think my definition of success evolved growing up. So now not only financial independent, but also looking for freedom and fulfillment in my life. So I think that's why I started to think of how I can really build up different income stream from investment other than just rely on someone to feed you, right? So I heard a saying like, if you allow someone to feed you, you also give them the power to starve you. And I think that really shocked me when I heard that.
I think a lot of people are thinking along these lines now. I think it depends obviously which stage of life you're at. There's no reason that you shouldn't be going into a corporate world to get experience, build your life. But, you do start to wonder, is there anything else later? And so you've gone through that journey. I've gone through a similar journey. So now you've started a property buying agency. So you've kind of found property as your vehicle. And so why don't you tell us a little bit more about that? So what was the kind of the big thing to start you on that particular journey? Because you could have chosen a few different things. Right.
I think it's really start from, I really want to build up a passive income for my own, for my family. So that's why I heard lots of people talking about like, oh, Australia property is a big thing, right? So you should invest in property. And I also made a mistake, right? I think at the beginning, when I want to invest, I have no knowledge. I have no idea. Actually, there's a lot of data. There's a lot of transparency. If you spend a lot of effort, you can know where should be the right place to invest. But I have no idea. I think I'm a super busy person. So my friends introduced me a sales agent, and he pitched me to buy an off-the-plan apartment in Melbourne. And I think I saw the smile on your face because how bad it is, to invest off the plan apartment in Melbourne because of the supply, because of lots of cost, because of the really less potential to have the capital growth, for that decision. So I have been through that. So I know like you really cannot out-earn your knowledge. You really have to spend the effort to learn, to do the research by your own. And then you can be able to earn money from there. So
you were actually inspired by a bit of a mistake. You perhaps rushed into something. Yeah. You sort of perhaps saw the pitfalls. True. So then what then led you to take that a step further? Because not everyone's going to be setting up their own buyer's agency and sort of specializing this full time. So what led you again to that next step?
I think the thing is when I see my kids growing up, I always thinking I want to spend more time with them, right? So I want to be able to go to the Friday, like my daughter's netball gameplay on Friday when in the working hours, right? And I also want to bring my kids for a long road trip, like what you have done before, right? So that's something always in my mind. So, when I really started to work on, like to do the research I also subscribe to some course to learn from other property investors, right? I really know how it can be work to invest in Australia. So that's how I really started to build up my own portfolio. And then at least I have something that I know one day if I lose this job, I can still survive, right? And I think really I also encountered some corporate like reorg. And then at the time, I really think that's it. This is the timing. Like, awesome. Yeah, I should start something on my own.
So why don't you talk to me about some of the clients who you've actually started to now work with and really kind of connect with? I'd be interested to sort of see.
I always like to share my first client. Yeah. So she was a former colleague. Like we bump into each other time to time. And then every time we share about what's happening in our life, and she's always talking about we are looking for a house to move in. And it has been going through more than 2 years, right? And then their life kind of stuck because they cannot find the ideal property because they used to be a family of 4, become family of 5, and then they cannot decide which school their kids want to be. They cannot invite their overseas family to come over because they're all waiting for they found an ideal property. And then I just say like, why don't you let me help you to buy the property? And then at the time, I think the concept of buyer's agent is still very new. Then she was like, oh, I didn't know someone can help you to buy a property. Mm-hmm. And then, after I really start to engage with them to help them. Fortunately, we find a good one for them within 3 weeks. So, and then you can see how happy, how joyful, how their life can move on after I help them to solve the biggest issue in their life. So I think that's really motivate me, for this, to do this job day after day. Yeah.
So it's really just, I can imagine that being a very difficult position that person was in, right?
Exactly.
They were stuck. They didn't know how to move forward.
Exactly.
And so just having that independent person come along like yourself, just to provide that advice, guidance. And then obviously you've got a wealth of sort of data and insights that you've got access to as well.
True, because I think the job is really to help people to remove all the uncertainty in the buying process, right? So like some people, because we all from overseas, when they first come to Australia, they know nothing about the market. They know nothing about the process, right? They know nothing about how can really make the informed decision in Australia market. So those kind of things we can really help them to navigate and help them to make the informed decision with confidence. Yeah.
And have you found that a number of people you work with now have made that sort of similar journey from overseas? Is that a common theme, or are you finding that you're working with other Aussies, and is there what are people's sort of skill level in terms of Australian property?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think the thing is, if you use whenever you're from, right? If you use your previous experience on buying a property, you want to, use your experience, use that in Australia market. It's a really different market concept. And now in Australia, you really need to have a good professional team surrounding you, like mortgage broker, like building and pass inspector, right? Solicitor. But they might apply to other countries, for where they're from. So this is something like, if you don't have a really trusted advisor, I saw lots of people, they even go to inspect hundreds of houses, go to many auctions. They still not be able to get one because they don't really have the confidence, because they don't know, are they doing the right decision or not for themselves, right? So that's something I think you can see a buyer's agent really as a trusted friend, because you always go to your friend to ask for opinion, right? But this friend, they really got the knowledge to help you.
I think it would be useful just to unpack some of the process as well, because I wasn't as aware of a buyer's agent, a few years ago, and I've really understood now the extra value that they can add. But I'm not sure everyone really knows the different stages that you help them at, from beginning to end. I wonder if you can just perhaps walk through.
Thank you for that. So I think we always start from really, really understand your needs, your requirement, or if there is some specific goal that you want to achieve. Right. So, because really everyone is different. If you really heard from someone, buying somewhere, but maybe it's good for them, but not good for you. Right. So I think we always started from that to really help you to tailor the strategy specifically for you. Right. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we will help you to suggest you some, the location that you should buy, or the property type that can really fit your lifestyle or requirement, and then help you to sourcing for the property. So once you found the good one, like you like the property like we present, we will also help you to suggest you what will be the reasonable price that should offer, and help you to negotiate or to go on auction. Right. And if it's investment property, even after you settle, we will suggest you a good property manager in the local area that really just help you to take out all your stress, right? And make this whole process easier for you.
Okay. And I think I've seen you jetting around Australia from time to time. Do you find yourself traveling to find those places, or? Yeah.
So, because we always start from data, right? But the thing is, I think still very important that I can be there to understand how data reflect. Is that really true? So I would travel. I think I travel every quarter to different states to talk to the sales agent there, and also go to the auctions, right? To really try to understand the market a bit more. But I think the most important thing is I really build up the very good partnership, like with the property managers there. So when I need someone to inspect the property or give me some advice, right, or to help to provide service to our client, that we do have an extended, good professional team across Australia to help us.
All right. So you're really getting on the ground and getting to sort of actually meet people. That's great.
Yeah. And I enjoy that a lot. Absolutely. Yeah.
No, I can imagine. So why don't you, so you've left corporate, you've started up your business. What is some of the things that you're kind of excited about or looking forward to over the next sort of 12 months or so? Where do you want to?
I think I always thought about what's my biggest learning after I left corporate life, right? I think the biggest thing for me now is really to be present. So the thing is, now you have fully control of your life, your calendar, how you want to spend your time. So you also take the responsibility and the accountability. Like, I have to spend my any minutes aligned with my priority, right? And now my priority is really my health, my personal growth, and also my relationship. So I think those are the things that I really want to prioritize in my life. And I think for the next 12 months or 10 years, I want to live the same way as I would live for now.
You've hit on the winning formula. You just want to build it and keep growing. No, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to close in a minute. I think that's really so useful for me, just to kind of hear it from you, just what your process is, how your clients interact, and what kind of motivates you to get up and get going. So why don't we? I'd love to sort of get a bit of a left field question in about maybe something that would surprise you, or something that's different, something that people don't know about you. Is there something that kind of springs to mind, something you've done recently? Or I've got one thing in mind, but I don't know whether you'll pick up on it.
Something surprise about me. Yeah, I think what I really want to do is I started to go to the dance studio to learn dance, and I always thought I want to become the best dancer as a grandmom, something like that. That's a goal I set up for myself, right? And I think the thing is, I really, that's what I really want to do. Just be able to have a work I like, but also learn something different in my life. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that, but that's a good answer. It's been great to have you on, Janet. I really appreciate it. Just tell us how people can reach out to you and get in touch.
Yeah, so you can go to our website, www.amazebyproperty.com.au. That they have all the information about like our service process and how can maybe book in a free consultation call. And you can also search me up on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. So we all have different channels that we will constantly post some content. Yeah.
Brilliant. Let's close it. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you so much.
Awesome.